let me give my life to you. Come, let me love you. Come, love me again. You fill up my senses like a night in a forest, like the mountains in springtime, like a walk in the rain, like a storm in the desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses. Come fill me again.
You made me cry again. I think, you know, we were talking about how different senses are associated with memory. I think, and music is one of the things that, for me personally, is so associated with memory. When I hear a song, it brings back so many memories of all kinds, and it's excuse me.
It hits me too, believe me, darling.
Thank
It hits me
Thank
too.
you.
I mean, you know, Rilke says that music, he says, music, the breathing of statues, perhaps the silence of paintings, you time standing vertically on the motion of mortal hearts, you language where all language ends. Feelings for whom? Oh, you the transformation of feelings into what? Into audible landscape. And he says the deep, he calls music the deepest space in us, which rises above us, forces its way out, holy departure. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
That says it all, doesn't it? That's
Yes.
fabulous. That's really, really wonderful. Beautiful. Well, I'm really so overcome right now, I can hardly think. But
Well, it's hard for me. I honestly, this music touches me. It's emotional music to me. I believe that, in fact, I had a long discussion with my friend Andy yesterday, in that C.S. Lewis, one of my heroes, he said that, how do you communicate without manipulation? He says the only way you do it is you get shoulder to shoulder. And so with my audiences, I'm shoulder to shoulder with them. I don't believe that it's kind of like this.
It's very intimate, I think.
It's very intimate, but it's
that.
a shared experience, because I'm experiencing things with them. You know, I sing very emotionally, and it's very, it's in a lot of ways I believe in the law of reciprocity, or the mirror of relationship. What's happening with me, I feel kind of goes with my audience. So I relate very much to the emotion, and it's hard. I break down. In fact, when I was driving out from LA to Colorado about a couple weeks ago, I stayed the night in Moab, which looks like Mars. It's beautiful, it's red. I'd never been there before, and I got up the next morning and I drove down the river road, and I was surprised. I was listening to the singer-songwriters of the 70s stack of CDs I have, and all of a sudden John comes on, you know, Dan Fogelberg and Gordon Lightfoot and all these wonderful, Carly Simon, James Taylor. And when John comes on and sings Sunshine on My Shoulders, and I pulled over and cried.
Yes.
It just hits me
It's
so hard.
Someone is trying to offer me a Kleenex. Excuse me a moment while our technical staff helps me out with this. I'm so teary. Thank you.
Yeah, these songs are very, well, there's a lot of reasons, I believe, why these songs are, and we talked about those longings. the longing for love, the longing for relationship.
Yeah, I think that's it. It really
home.
hits those very deep places within us, and that's the kind of thing that John always sang about. You know,
Oh,
he
he
was
did.
a very. I think he had a lot of happiness in his life, but a lot of unhappiness, and it was things that we could all relate to. You know, so the things he sang about just resonated for all of us, and still do, and do all over the world. You know, these are the same things that we all experience.
Oh, absolutely. Well, John, in fact, in one of his songs, one of my buddies, a buddy of mine named Bill Lenahan, he and I had a long conversation in San Francisco one night about the song, My Sweet Lady.
That's
And
a beautiful one.
in that song, he says, I wish that you could know how much I love you.
Yes.
And we were talking about what a beautiful, in fact, he used to come up to me in some of my concerts, and and I'd be singing. There's a point where it goes, "I wish that you could know how much I love you," and the word love is on an F sharp. It's on the 9 of the chord, and he would come up to me and he'd say, "Rick, you really got me with that note that you hit," and the love note, which is the F sharp. And I thought, really, and we talked about it and how, I mean, the genius of John's compositions, and what I believe the super intention intended through his music, which I believe goes on really, it is beautiful. And
well, when you talk about the super intention, that's like the spiritual aspect.
absolutely.
And that is what is special about you and about John, and what does come through and why it touches people so much.
Oh,
It's just amazing. And as you said, even those specific notes kind of hit you in different places, your heart or whatever, or it triggers a memory. And John's music really defined an era. I think part of what happens to me when I hear John Denver's music is it seems like those were simpler times.
Yeah.
It was a whole different world before all this 9/11 and terrorism and all that sort of thing. Those were more innocent and happier times.
Happier times, and it was an interesting time and an era. John was writing and singing a lot about family. His show was a family show.
Yes.
And one of the things that I have observed with children, and we've talked about this before, how children are captivated by this music.
Oh yes, they love it.
And I believe the reason why is because they're stories. And C.S. Lewis, again, he says that a story can break past the watchful dragons of reason. And I believe that music is a parade past those dragons.
Well, it goes right into the right side of the brain.
Yeah.
We're talking about that, stories, music, myth.
Absolutely.
Archetypes, all those things go straight into the right side of your brain and connect directly into your body. The left side of the brain is kind of detached from all that. But yes, John actually had his own children, and he did a lot of concerts for children, including my own daughter, who just loved his music and still does. We never get through Christmas without hearing John Denver's music and songs that he sang at Christmas time. It's very much a part of our Christmas celebration. And John loved children. He really, really loved children, and they loved him. So I would love to hear you sing something that you have written. We keep talking about John Denver, and just because you look exactly like him and sound exactly like him doesn't mean that you're not a singer-songwriter of your own kind. So let us hear the kinds of things that you do on your own.
Sure. Well, John used to say that to be a songwriter is to be an instrument of that which wants to be written. And in a lot of ways, going back to the superintention, I believe that God superintends through our intention. And to me, there's a sense. In fact, all songwriters talk about the sense of automaticness to it.
Well, all artists talk about that.
Yeah.
That something
you receive
comes
it
through them. It's not even them necessarily, but something flows through them.
Yeah, you receive this, and it's fun because you get to play with it and put a little signature on it. But yet, even though you authored it, you don't really own it in the sense because you receive it. So it's like a gift. But this is a song that I wrote years ago called "Coming Home," and I've got a couple versions of it, but I'll play one of them for you. It goes. Yesterday, on the plane back home, a thought occurred to me. What if I never would see your smile again? To hold you, to love you, to have you near me. Suddenly tears sliding down my face. Darling, I missed you so. I never want to let you go. Coming home is to see your smile, to hold you close to me, to feel your love, to even cry sometimes. Coming home to you, so never say goodbye. looking out my window as we begin to land. Stepped off my plane and made my way through the crowd, longing to find you, to see your faces, my eyes ahead of me, racing to find your smile. Darling, I missed you so, I never want to let you go. Coming home is to see your smile, to hold you close to me, feel your love, to even cry sometimes. Coming home to you is to never say goodbye. Suddenly I'm holding on too tightly, so suddenly I'm letting go. That day when I'll be home, finally to see the face of my God and heaven's family surrounding me. I'll soon be coming home. No more tears, no more letting go, no more goodbyes. My darling, I'll see your smile again. My soul longs for home. My soul longs for home. I'll soon be coming home.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, you have told me that you've been inspired by Aspen, by the landscape here, in sort of the same ways that John was. You talked about hiking up to Cathedral Lake
Oh,
and how that moved you.
yeah. Well, you know, the lyrics to these songs, the John songs, are so rooted in Aspen, particularly. And I think that John is Americana. He defines Americana with a capital A. Seeing Cathedral Mountains for the first time, I have never seen anything like that in my life. I've been all over the world, and I've never seen something that moved me to tears just looking at this lake. As soon as we were walking and we were talking, my friend Andy and I, and as we got to the lake, as soon as I looked at the lake, and I saw this incredible, I don't know how to describe it. It was like being in church. It was a holy moment.
Well, that's where a lot of people experience spirituality, is in the beauty of nature.
Oh, it brought me to
That is
tears.
what spirit is. You know, that is, there's something greater than you are. You know, people have a hard time understanding what we're talking about sometimes when we say spirituality or spirit, but it's that sense of awe and that something greater than you that comes through you and into you and inspires you. The word inspire is, you know, means to actually to bring in God, or to be enthusiastic also means to bring God into yourself.
Oh, absolutely. I believe
Yes.
that the idea of, I mean, to me,